for letting me come to your city and see about your research.
Yes, so thanks for being here and for giving me the opportunity to also talk about my research and making it a little bit better known. I was quite happy that Fujifilm asked me to do that research into sort of the opportunities, applications, and also the stumbling blocks in using print enhancements on a press. I believe it's a very promising topic, but it also needs a bit of explanations, a little bit of background in using that.
It's quite a wide-ranging piece of research. Where did you start? What was your starting point?
It's a topic I had a look at for many, many years. It's my background is, I studied printing technology. I worked for an offset press manufacturing company in the past in R&D. Then I moved on to digital for years. And digital does a great job, and it evolved over the years. But one thing digital was always a bit behind is using these kind of on-press enhancements, specialty colors, special effects, and so on. And it's good to see that there are now more and more, still few, but more presses now using or being able to offer these kind of enhancements. So. It makes a lot of sense to talk about that now and get back into this.
Yeah. So you talk a lot in the research about value. So what's the importance of value when we're talking about enhancements and embellishments?
Adding more value to a printed piece is using an enhancement, so making it standing out even among all the nice print pieces.
Yeah.
And that's why enhancements and value are extremely important.
So it's becoming less of a commodity.
Exactly. So a lot of competition there, prices being driven lower for standardized products. And if somebody is only comparing 1,000 flyers by the price, it's a commodity. It's driving the prices down, and printing company essentially cannot make money on that.
So that's how I guess you came up with this chart that I'm going to pop onto the screen now, with almost like there's two directions you can take in your print business.
Yes, exactly. So 2 dimensions. The one companies and also vendors tend to talk about a lot is saving money, so driving efficiency. I call it here cost-driven strategy. So it starts with relatively easy things like cutting price of consumables and papers and looking at the running cost of the equipment. Then further on, streamlining all the processes in the company. And then also in a probably more advanced stage, looking into the whole supply chain from originator into the end user. However, ultimately it's all about cost leadership, being the lowest cost provider and then the lowest price provider.
What they call the race to the bottom.
The race to the bottom, yes. And it does make sense for some, but not too many, because you need to be a big company and it's a brutal competition and you need to make money out of pennies there. You gain for each job. But to some extent it makes sense, obviously, for all companies. But that's one corner of the market where there will be an extreme competition. But the printing industry always has also been an industry where value is important. Supporting customers, producing an outstanding product, producing something delightful. Yeah. And that's the value-driven strategy. So obviously looking at quality, but most printing companies do, but you can still improve on that with the latest technology. But then you can do more on that. Beyond the standard process color printing, looking at better substrates, looking at the kind of enhancements, the specialty effects. And that is not only talking about the lowest price, then it's talking about the value of a printed product, talking also about print as part of a project, part of a marketing campaign or of a company strategy. And it's a totally different discussion. It's not about price, margin anymore. It's about providing value. And that's in effect where the way print is evolving. With electronic channels being the cheap ones, and print providing that extra delight.
Yeah, exactly. Something that has an emotional connection or a high worth to the person who's either receiving it or even buying it.
Yes.
And that's very much what is behind the chart that I did. Now, when I looked at your chart, I went back to 2018 to this chart that I produced, which is a lot simpler. Not much research in this, but just a feeling about the market and where it was going. And we use this when we were talking about jet press to say most companies that are successful either are focusing on efficiency and automation, or they're looking at high quality and high value, and they know where they are. Mm-hmm. And in the middle, I had this valley of despair, this place where you don't know where you're going, and you're dictated to by the customers who send you work, and you just do your best to try and produce them efficiently. Mm-hmm. And so I saw a real correlation between what you were saying and what I'd been saying in a different way, with a different product, but it's still the same principle as far as that goes.
Yes, yeah, and it does have an important message, because ideal would be, of course, you do both. You do a cost-driven strategy, and at the same time you increase value. However, that is, of course, extremely difficult to achieve. And your chart shows brings that message that you better should focus on one of both, and be a master in one of these areas, and not try to fall into the middle.
Yeah. But I also believe that possibly that chart could be like a cylinder and meet up around the back in this perfect world where you're producing high value print in a very efficient and automated way. And I think some companies are getting towards that.
Yes, but that requires a lot of effort, a lot of resources, and leadership. So yes, why not trying to aim for that, but also keep in mind that not try to make too much compromises in the middle because of limited resources, limited reach, and so on. So then rather focus on one strategy.